Something I'd like to point out here. So, um, the opening, the opening track, the opener that you encounter if you stay at the press start page too long, is this track, 1 minute and 49 seconds long. There's another track I have in my unlocked library of a similar length. It says 1 minute 57 seconds, but there's a lot of dead time at the end of the track. You'll tend to find it's only about 1 minute and 48 seconds of actual music. That also has lyrics. It's also a piece of J-pop. And considering I unlocked both, this suggests that the intro that I see as I enter the game, there's an intro that you encounter actually playing into the game a few lines, as opposed to from the start menu. But I never heard the background music for that intro because I had the background music turned off. And unlike previous visual novels that I've played, where turning the background music does not turn off things like the opener music or credit music, in this particular Switch port of this game, it does. So I didn't hear the music there. It might be that they decided to use different music for that as opposed to the opener from the title page. Now, I understand that the opener for the Sega Dreamcast port of this game was different than the opener for the original port, which I don't know what it was PlayStation or something. So there's also PC. As such, they might have decided to include both in this, and decided to put one in one place and the other in another place. I'm not going to play the track for you now. Maybe I'll do it at the end of this. Don't want to necessarily deal with the copyright just yet. This last track, which is 31 seconds long, is actually some sort of ad, which is kind of interesting, but not particularly plot important, I would think. It's the voice actor for Ayaka, saying some exposition to the game. And then the remaining, there are these song titles that are written in English are Takeshi Abo's background music, and for some reason he always writes his song titles for his background music tracks in English. It's just his style. I don't know why he does that, but he does it that way. Okay. This will only be about half an hour long. I should be using this time to study for my Japanese final, but I'm not. And I don't have anybody like Kaoru to come along and do it with. So, I don't know why I'm doing this. This is stupid. I'm doing it anyway, though. Teaser for the background music. Two maraca hits. No, not maraca. What did PewDiePie make a pile of? I forget. I forget what those are called for some reason. Whatever. It's like a drum with the like little symbols surrounding it. I forget what that's called right now for some strange reason. Bizarre memory lapse. Okay. Well, I don't know what I don't understand, so it can't be helped. Yeah, I don't know what, I think where he left off here, we don't know what Kaoru is thinking or interpreting about Tomoya's love of manga made for girls. My hypothesis last recording was that she thought that maybe there was a different girl that he was buying them for, but that's not really quite consistent with what she's saying. But then again, the language barrier is getting in the way and confusing things. And this is the first time I've heard that name. Oh yeah, the name of the person who wrote the mangas. Yes, and then I googled that name, and it turned out to be some Japanese actor, but didn't find anything about her writing manga. Also postdated this game. Like, she became famous long after 1999. So it's a different person with the same name or something. It might be a real person. I just wasn't able to find it in like one-click quick Google search. Because she might have gotten overshadowed by some other even more famous person. I see, so that's the name. If there's anything to write about, I'd like to write it down. Okay. But I'm surprised that you know that.
まあ、私もその人の本持ってたからね。
Well, I had this book too. I see, that makes sense. Real simple. Yeah, that's definitely a shoujo manga, so it wouldn't be strange for Otoa-san to know about it. I've learned that there are people in this world who don't know even if they have the real thing. Whatever that means. Let's try Google Translate. I realize that there are people in this world who don't even know about it, even if they own it. Okay. Well, about me. But to think that Otoa-san was reading such a small-sized girl manga. You mean meant for young people or just short? It's a familiar sight before sunset. More housewives. Try to Google Translate on this one. Housewives, thinking of tonight's menu. Okay. And workers returning from work were bustling with shops. I guess we're, like, making the shops busy. Meanwhile, I've been following Otoa the whole time.
とりあえずあそこに入ろうか。
Why don't we go in there for now? Saying that, she points to the fast food restaurant she always uses. This would help financially as well, so it was totally okay. Wait, got it. So the question, is eating out cheaper or more expensive than making your own food at home? The answer is could be either way, depending on how you make your own food at home. The way I do it, absolutely making my own food at home is cheaper. I can do cheap. I can do like large volumes cheap. It involves using a lot of rice. So there's no end to this anyway, right? After finishing my order, just as I was finally about to fall to the ground, I questioned Otawa. Okay, let's make sure that using Google Translate, that fall to the ground isn't a mistake. Finally settling down, I questioned Otawa-san. Okay.
うん、よくわかってるね。
Yeah, I'm surprised you know that. Oh, this is where the manga series ends. Otawa-san removed her mouth from the straw, piercing the shake, and nodded with a smile.
なんて言っても、三上くんの思わぬ秘密をつかんだんだからね。
No matter what you say, I found an unexpected secret from Mikami-kun.
今後も利用させてもらっちゃうから。
I'll be using you from now on. Or I'll be using that. I will continue to use you in the future. Whatever that means. Well, Toa-san wouldn't mind.
ちょっと待った。
Wait a minute. Nani? Otawa-san suddenly stopped me from speaking. Did I say something bad?
それ変えよう。
Let's change that. What?
まずその呼び方を変えるとこから始めない？うん、そうしよう。
Why don't we start by changing that name? No, let's do that. What are you saying all of a sudden?
私って名字で呼ばれるのあんまり好きじゃないんだよね。
I don't really like being called by my last name. Oh yes, this thing, which makes no sense to Americans. You just have to deal with it. Then what are you gonna do?
名前で呼んで。
Call me by my first name. And that's just where the sentence is. That's where the sentence ends. It's just that musical note got turned into the kanji ka or whatnot. So it's the kanji version, which means strength or power. So that's why it's call me by my first name. Power! First name?
まず三上くんは私のことを名前で呼ぶこと。これは今後絶対だよ。
First of all, Mikami-kun, you have to call me by my first name. This will definitely happen in the future, you know. Although I'm still calling you Mikami-kun. Then, for example, Kaoru-san.
年上でもないのにそんな呼び方しないでしょ。
You don't call me that when you're not even older than me, do you? What, you're supposed to call her Kaoru-chan? Then, Kaoru-chan?
私ってそんな呼び方されるタイプだと思う？
Do you think I'm the type to be called that? So what? What was that where you used Kaoru-sama? I'm not actually, I haven't gotten to the part where in like learning Japanese or whatever where you actually distinguish between these honorifics. The only one I know is san, and that's just the one you use, and you don't know of any other ones to use. You just presume san, unless something special comes up where you use something different. I notice in a lot of visual novels and such that they tend to call the young men kun. I don't know what the rule is, though. I just noticed that young men tend to be called kun. And people where you give like a lot of respect to tend to be called sama. Maybe it appears even like more retro style, like it's an older style of thing to call someone with sama. Like I know the word for God is kami-sama, which might be related to that. But I don't know the rule exactly. It's just kind of a pattern I seem to notice. Someone could correct me on the specific rule. I know that Chon tends to be used is in a diminutive way. It's like almost pet naming somebody, which you wouldn't do unless that person is okay with it, unless you're kind of a jerk, right? No one likes to get pet named, even though for some reason people do it anyway. I don't just calling people hun that are strangers, I don't get that. It happens in the South and stuff. It's weird. But it's kind of like calling someone like hun or something like that. But I never formally learned that. There's just patterns I'm noticing. None of those would have fit here, right? You wouldn't call her Kaoru-sama. You wouldn't call her Kaoru-chan. And you wouldn't call her, I presume you wouldn't call her Kaoru-kun because she's not a boy. And I've only seen it be used on boys. He's like struggling to figure out a name, how to do this. You're right. I don't think so. I don't think so.
でしょ
Right? Then can you decide what you want me to call you, basically? What to be called?
呼び捨てにしてみてよ。
Try calling me by my first name. With no, like, honorifics. Just Karu by itself. Call you that, that's... Whoops, I just deleted the text box.
呼んでみて。
Yonde kudasai, try calling me. Demo, which is like, but.
秘密、クラス中にバレちゃうよ。
Whole class will find out about your secret, you know. Kaoru. I said those words out of the blue. No, you didn't, just because she threatened you. Toa-san heard that.
うん、やっぱりそう呼ばれてる方が友達らしくていいね。
Yeah, it's nice to be called that like a friend. Huh? Friends? Except that's kanji, though. Is that tomodachi in kanji? Or is that like nakama or something?
そうだよ。三上くんは今日から私の一番仲のいい友達。いいよね。
The Japanese are weird like that. We're like, we're friends now? It's like, no, you were already friends. You typically don't just decide. Like, how making friends in real life works is more like, it just kind of happens. You don't sit there and go, why aren't we be friends? No, you just notice, oh, we're acting like friends. And by this point, they are already acting like friends. So they don't even have to decide. They're just like, oh, yeah, we're friends, aren't we? That's right. Starting today, Mikami-kun is my closest friend. Isn't that good? May not be Mikami-kun's closest friend, but it's her closest friend. Well, at this point, Yue is kind of mad at us, but... Otoa-san, Kaoru, blushing a little, took a sip from the straw. The gesture made her look so adorable. She's always talking to me so casually, and she's always causing me trouble. She'll be my troubles and strife, as they say in certain parts of Britain. And that's how she came to want to be tense with me. What? This is how she asked for tension, in quotes, with me. Okay, I don't know what that's supposed to... well, there's some idea what that means, but... Car's breast friend, huh? That's not a bad idea. I smile gently at Kaoru. And don't you have to call me by my first name in the same way?
Eh?
Yeah, I didn't think that through. I just want to boss you around. I mean, we're friends, but you're always calling me Mikami-kun. I don't want you to call me that either. Besides, I don't like being called by my last name either.
そう
Is that so? This has nothing to do with my weakness. Well, as long as we're friends, right?
じゃあ智也くん
Then Tomoya-kun. Karu murmured in shame. I wonder if it's just my imagination that she looks so innocent. Oh, why don't you just call me Kun instead of Kun? Okay, what does Google Translate have to say about that? Why don't you call me whatever you want, and I'll call you Kun. No, that's not right either. Maybe it's I'll call you whatever you want, and you call me Kun. Maybe that's backwards.
ともちゃんとか
Then Tomo-chan. There you go. Tomo-chan. 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 Those echoed words stirred my head. Because it reminds you of Ayaka, basically. Is that a bad name? Let's stop calling me that. An existence that already calls me, that flashes through my mind. That already calls me that flashes through my mind. If possible, it would be better to call me something else. Oh, just, should I be called by the same name? Eh? That sounds good. Okay, let's do that. Eh?
そんなこと
That's not... Huh? We're friends, aren't we?
智也
Tomoya. Honestly, you can call me that next time, as long as we're friends.
ちょっと照れるけどね
It's a little embarrassing, though. Yeah, we're both embarrassed and conscious of each other. From an outsider's point of view, the two of us might look like idiots. Am I an outsider? But I know full well that today is the start of our new relationship. Well, yes, I mean, you do look like idiots, but not because, of why you think. It's because I'm an American. And, like, you don't do this thing when you're an American, right? You just show up. I'm not going to say what my first name is, but you just say, like, hello, my name is, and then you just say your first name. And then you were called by that. And it really doesn't mean anything. It's just your name. The only time you have something weird is when you have kids talking to you, right? And you say, I'm like, Mr. my last name. But other than that, no. Like, the whole conversation about what should you call me is weird from my point of view. I know full well today is the start of our new relationship. You don't have to do that. You don't have to ship it. Even if Karu hadn't done that, I had long since assumed that Karu would be called a friend, like I was saying.
さて これでミカ、友也の弱みの件も全部なしってことになるかな。
Now then, Tomoya. Well, this means all of Tomoya's weaknesses are gone. Eh?
だって友達同士でそんなことやっても面白くないでしょ。
Well, now that you're my friend, there aren't weaknesses, right? I mean, it wouldn't be fun to do that with friends, would it? It depends on what kind of friends you are. The smile on Toa-san's face as she says that is the expression of a friend I really want to spend the rest of my life with. Ooh, we're going... So she's the one, then. Well, yeah, don't you have friends? You have friends for the rest of your life? Like, yeah, but there's no commitment, so it depends. Like, my parents never managed to do something. No, that's not true. My mom, I think, has some that are very permanent. Yes. Yes, I can think of one. Okay. So that's not necessarily like a proposal. I smile at Karu. This is the first step in recognizing each other as those guys. Okay, what does Google Translate likes to what does Google Translate like to call that? As them. We are a them. We are a group of people that you will refer to with one pronoun. Classes ended in the morning today, and everyone was surrounded by a bit of hustle and bustle for the weekend. But in my case, I was different from everyone else. I was the main character. Because of her, I haven't been able to move from here for a while. No, I want to move, but she won't let me?
でだ
Or he won't.
明日は俺も君も厳しい一日になるだろう。そのあたりを親友としてよく分かってほしいわけだ。
So, tomorrow, it will be a tough day for both of us. I want you to understand that as my best friend.
わかるよな。親友である俺が頼めるのはもう君しかいないってことを。
You understand, don't you? You're the only one I can ask of as my best friend. I've been giving Sheen a cold stare for a while now. The reason is irritating. The reason was infuriating, according to Google Translate. Those are slightly different things. I mean, you usually would use different words for those things. They aren't very interchangeable. Is it irritating or infuriating? Usually go to work in your place. Okay, what does Google Translate say? Shin, please go part-time in my place. Oh, something like that. Of course, tomorrow was Sunday. What's more, he told me to take on someone else's part-time job. Can you even do that? What kind of... That's a lot to explain to whoever you're working for. It's not legal. In the United States, at least. On the day of the festival, Hayashiro officially remembered that she'd made a promise to the daughter of Rinsho Girls High School. Oh my goodness. This is something I'm not supposed to understand, right? This probably doesn't even make sense in Japanese. By the way, that school is also a bit of a rich girl school. I was trying to pick up a certain girl. With all these conditions in place, there's nothing left to say. That's why I'm glaring at Shin while wearing such a contemptuous expression.
もしかして友也様は 明日予定か何か入れてらっしゃるとか。
Do you have plans for tomorrow, Tomoya-sama? I don't really have any.
それなら、
Then silent resistance continued.
じゃあ稲穂くん、明日バイト休めばいいじゃない。
And why don't you take tomorrow off from work, Sheen? Like, take a vacation day. She seemed to have been listening to what I had to say, so she interrupted me from the side. At least what Sheen had to
それ
say.
がさ、もう今月の休み使い果たしちゃって、休むに休めなかったりして。
Well, I've already used up this month's vacation, so I can't take vacation.
急な用事とか他にも理由は作れないの？
Can't you come up with some other reason?
いやいや、そのあたりの手は全部使っちゃってるから。
No, I've already used up all my tricks. Even Karu was exasperated. I didn't say anything since I'd figured it'd be something like that anyway, but it's just as I'd expected. Ja, shall we go?
そうだね。
Yes, we. That's correct, isn't it? Urged by Karu, I stood up from my seat. It's already beyond the point of saving him. I feel bad for Shin, but I want to tell him to handle the rest on his own. When I turned around in front of the door, I saw Shin running around the classroom in search of a new agent, not bothered by the fact that he'd missed me. He's really undaunted. We leave the classroom. Well, that was a rejection.
ちょっと冷たかったかな。
Was that a little cold? It's alright. Actually, in his case, his motives are impure. I think it'd be better to make him do something about it himself. This was the only advice I could give her as her best friend. Well, yeah, something to do with girls or something that I didn't understand. Especially when it comes to people like Sheen. I think this is the best option.
そうかもね。
Maybe so. Karu's expression brightens a bit as I wait with my shoes on. It's Doyobi? It's the afternoon of the day of the samurai. It's Saturday afternoon. On this day, when more people come and go than usual, the shopping district, let alone anywhere else, is guaranteed to be crowded.
それにしてもさ、おかしな話だよね。
Anyway, it's a strange story. As we leave the school gate, Karu suddenly cuts through the silence, I presume. Nani ga? Oh, which is...
こ
What
うやっ
did
て
you
話
introduce?
しながら一緒に帰ること。転校してきた時には考えられなかったことだよ。
To go home together while talking like this, it was unthinkable when you transferred here, when I transferred here, it was it? I mean, I don't know about that. It's true, before I knew it, I started going home. Now I think about it, the word historical comes to mind. In that case, wouldn't it be strange for us to call each other our first names like this?
そうだね。
Huh. It is, isn't it?
でも智也と隣になったからこうして話せる仲になったんじゃない？
But now that's your next... I'm next to Tomoya. Aren't I able to talk to him like this or something like that? Well, now that you mention it, I guess so. I scratched my head and returned, something. Scratched my head and replied with a bit of embarrassment. It's true that I couldn't think of it either, but maybe I had a hunch. Well, you knew that you were in this branching timeline romance visual novel thing, so I mean that might have helped. It was just a minor incident that happened at the beginning on the 10th of October when I saw Kaoru transfer here. She just happened to be sitting next to me. Except that wasn't just happened. Someone wrote it that way. Kaoru glances at me. Was that just a hunch? No, it must be a premonition. Uchikoshi didn't write this part. As far as I'm aware. Otherwise, I don't think we would have been this close.
じゃあこれからは朝も一緒に行こっか。
Well then, shall I go to the morning after this? She suddenly proposes something like that. Morning, huh? Besides, Yue's waiting for me.
そういえば智也って今坂さんと家近いんでしょ？
Come to think of it, Tomoya's house is close to Imasaka-san's, right?
なのになんで駅で待ち合わせてるの？
So, why are you waiting at the station? I don't know. I don't really understand why. That's just how we do it.
ふーん。
Hmm? Well, I don't mind if it's just the three of us. Just the three of us! Well, it's kind of messed up.
そう？
That's so. Doesn't matter if two or three. Three people, they're all the same, and I don't know what the Kari is. That's the problem. It's some sort of miso-CRing or something. Yeah, it's the first word. It's the station. Oh, okay. There are two or three at the station. It's the same. And besides, I thought it'd be nice to go with someone other than Yue once in a while.
ん？そういう意味で誘ったの？
What, you want to like cheat? Oh, so that's why you invited me. Well, I didn't really mean it that way.
わかってる。そんなことで怒ったりしないって。
I know, I won't get mad at you for that. Ha ha.
でもこうして一緒にいるのってやっぱり本屋でのことがあったからかな。
But I guess the reason we're together like this is because of what happened at the bookstore. I think so. That book was, of course, nothing more than a shoujo manga from back then.
あれからいろいろ思ったんだけど、どうして智也はあの漫画を読んでるの？何かに影響されたとか？
Yeah, you see, if Ayaka was going to pass, she managed to set you up with something that would lead to you picking up your next girlfriend, right? She had it all figured out. I've been thinking a lot since then. Why are you reading that manga, Tomoya? Did you get influenced by something? Yeah, I guess that is about it. Regardless of the reason, she was definitely reading that manga because she had received a certain fallacy. Or I was. I was definitely reading that manga because I had received a certain error. Yeah, the kanji got mixed up. A certain recommendation is probably correct. It's a complicated kanji, it's dense, so makes sense. There is nothing wrong in that regard.
あ、ちょっと興味あるな。よかったら聞かせてくれない？
I'm a little interested. If you don't mind, could you tell me? You have to dredge it up. You have to dredge up that thing you don't want to remember. But it wasn't something I wanted to talk about. So naturally, there's no need to tell you that. Or so I say, refusing.
そう？でも、そう言われると聞きたくなっちゃうんだけどな。
Oh, is that so? When you put it like that, it makes me want to ask. Yes, the Chinese handcuff of secrets. No matter how much you look at it, the way she says that just sounds like she's telling me to disperse. Or you mean dispense? Dispense. Let's scatter. How you look at it, the way she says it sounds like she's pleading, let's scatter. But the kanji got messed up, so it's probably like, tell me. Spill the beans. I want to know as the player, I want this story. Eventually you're going to have to tell me the story. The problem is that the game might be designed so that it doesn't let you do that until all of the other girls besides Ayaka's routes have been completed. And that might be like part of her route, and you have to do the other ones first. Kaoru's eyes are filled with curiosity as she waits for me to speak. Oh well, I don't really want to talk, but... Okay, I'll tell you. I sighed in gratitude and resigned myself to my fate. Oh, I might skip it because it's hidden from the reader until the reader gets the right routes. As we walked through the busy shopping district over the weekend, I started talking bit by bit. The reason I started reading that manga was because my childhood friend who lived next door used to read it.
幼なじみってあの時言ってた？
Did you say childhood friend back then? I nodded silently.
でもあの漫画でしょ？その幼なじみって。
But it's that manga, isn't it? That childhood friend. I suddenly remembered the past and looked up at the sky, feeling nostalgic. A scene from the past comes to mind in my brain. What are you reading?
この本。
This book. You're reading manga?
面白いんだよ。トモヤも見ない？
It's interesting. Tomoya, do you also want to see it? Is basically what that is, right? Yes. I got it! Me, why would I have a manga about a woman like that? Before I could finish my sentence, Ayaka's view of the situation became moist with tears. I hastily take back what I was about to say. I want to see it. I really want to read the manga you're reading, Ayaka.
本当？じゃあ見せてあげる。
Oh, really? Then I'll show you.
きっと智也も気に入るから。
I'm sure Tomoya will like it too. Is that so? Before I knew it, I was influenced by my childhood friend.
感化だなんて、そんな大げさなことじゃないでしょ。
Influenced? It's not a big deal, is it?
どう聞いても、その幼なじみの貸した本を智也が気に入っただけじゃない。
No matter how dark it gets, Tomoya just likes the book his childhood friend gave him. Haha. Dark it gets. Okay, so Karu gets it. As a matter of fact, Karu is talking about moving away from the past I remember. I couldn't honestly tell Karu about my past, about Ayaka. But now that I've decided I'm fine with that, I agree with what she has to say. Well then, you put it that way, I guess I can't deny it.
でも、その幼なじみって羨ましいな。
But I'm jealous of that childhood friend of yours. Eh? I turned to Karu, who was walking side by side. Her eyes were still reflecting the scarlet sunset.
だって智也と何かしらつながってるじゃない。
I mean, they're connected to Tomoya somehow. Connected?
そう。そ
That
の
is
幼なじみはどこにいても智也がその本を今でも読んでることで何かしらつながってるんだよ。
correct, okay, and this is... A childhood friend of yours is still reading that book no matter where she is. And there's some connection between you two. No matter where she is. Also with me?
うん。
Connected. So that kanji's unreliable in the OCR, but it's connected. Ayaka and I. But I can't see my childhood friend anymore.
会えない。
You can't see her? You cannot see her? Even if I wanted to see her, I couldn't do that anymore. After all, I'm the one who knows that reality better than anyone.
でも智也たちの絆が断ち切られたわけじゃないでしょ。
But it's not like the bonds between Tomoya and the others have been severed, right? The bond, huh?
私はそんなものない。
I don't have anything like that. Kara is like, because I don't have anything like that. Eh? Looked at Karu, she seemed to be brooding over something. You don't have a bond? Kaoru nodded in response to my murmur. All she did was nod and looked like she didn't want to say anything more. That's why I didn't ask anything beyond that. See you Monday then. The train leaves and I am on my way home by myself. I surrendered myself to the train, remembering my conversation with Kaoru. Connected, attached, whatever you want to call it. The bond. Kaoru said that book was the only bond connecting me to Ayaka. Or at least was a bond. I don't know if that's really the bond that connects me to Ayaka. The bond, huh? I felt indebted to her since it wasn't like me, and closed my eyes. "29th. It was the sound of an alarm that always fell on my ears. I casually grabbed it and swung my fist down at the stop button. I slowly wake up my sleepy body. The usual morning. The daily routine begins again today. The chirping of a small bird tells me that a peaceful morning is coming. I sat on the bed for a while, dumbfounded, but eventually, after looking at the clock, I finally decided to leave the room. Let's go. Does this guy ever, take a shower? Shawa o abimasu? Does he ever brush his teeth? Does he ever, change his clothes? This guy just kind of, gets off his bed and then just, walks out. Does he ever shave his face, or does he have a beard? Once the street was ready, I grabbed my bag and finally left my room. On the way to the station, I remembered what she said yesterday. Bonds, right? Bond, huh? There's something like that between me and Ayaka, right? No, it did exist, but...
おはよう、ともや。
Oh, good morning, Tomoya. It's getting stalked at this point. Kaoru, you're not supposed to be here. Wait, except it's your route. Okay, never mind. You're going to get overplayed. We're going to get sick of you. For some reason, Kaoru, who should always be... Yue, who should always be lying in wait, was nowhere to be seen. And Kaoru was there. Nande? He's like, why?
どう？驚いた？
How is it? Surprised? I nodded my head. Kaoru's existence is surprisingly indescribable, since I thought Yue would be there as usual.
成功だよ、今坂さん。
Is a success, Imasaka-san. Same time as those words, I turned around, and Yue, who had been hiding in the shadows ahead of me, appeared.
なんだ、ともちゃん、やっぱり気にはしていたんだ。
Oh, so Tomo-chan really did care. Oh, okay. What do you mean?
ゆえがいつも待ってるってこと。なんだかんだ言っても、実はちゃんと見ててくれたんだよね。
It mattered that there was the wrong person, I presume? It means Yue is always waiting for you. No matter what you say, you actually saw it, didn't you?
でも、私がすり替わっただけであんなに驚いてたんだよ。
But you were so surprised just because we switched places, you know?
その点からしても、否定はできないんじゃない？
From that point of view, I can't deny it, can I?
ねえ、もしかして図星？
Hey, did I hit the nail on the head?
どう見てもね。
No matter how you look at it. They look at each other and nod. The scene definitely looked like it was teasing me. Yes, you're getting ganged up on by someone kind of intellectual and somebody who's likes to tease you. I'll go on ahead.
あ、ともちゃん。ともや？
I don't know why I jumped 2 lines. Tomo-chan. Tomoya. I don't know myself, but I avoided them and run down the road to school. Honestly, thanks to those two, it's good exercise early in the morning. I've been running at full speed, so it won't be that easy to catch up.
やっと追いついた。
I finally caught up. So I guess Tomoya's cardio is pretty good because he runs all the time. Like, situationally. He never runs just for the sake of running.
もう、そんなに急がなくても遅刻はしないでしょ？
Geez, you don't have to hurry, won't you? You won't be late, right?
あ、もしかして怒ってる？
Oh, are you mad? Not really.
やっぱり怒ってるじゃない。
You really are angry, aren't you? I'm not angry.
怒ってるよ。
You're angry.
そんなことで怒るなんて、友也らしくないじゃない。
It's not like Tomoya to get angry over something like that. It's not like me? What kind of person thinks it's fun to do something like that so early in the morning?
ちょっとからかっただけじゃない。そんなのいつもみたいに軽く受け流しちゃえばいいでしょ？
I was just teasing you a little. Why don't you just brush that off like you always do? Like I always do?
もう、今日の友也、いつもと違うよ。
Jeez, Tomoya, you're acting different today. Then what do you think do you think Karu knows the usual me? Right, like seems like usual him to me. I don't get this as the player he just runs away all of a sudden. This is how he treats Yue all the time. That's not Ayaka. There's no way I know. What? What's Ayaka have anything to do with this? Like, that name is there. I see Ayaka in the text. It's not a mistranslation. That's not Ayaka. There's no way she'd understand. She's not Ayaka. There's no way she would understand. Is that it? I am me. Nothing changed, and I'm perfectly normal today.
じゃあなんでそんなに怒ってるのよ。
Well then, why are you so angry? I am not angry.
怒ってる。
You're angry. How do you know that?
そんなの態度で一目瞭然。
That's obvious from your attitude. You say that a lot, geez. In the first place, it's because you're in a place like that that I'm feeling this way, you know?
え、
Eh?
そう。私があの場にいたから。
I see, it's because I was there. Ah. I couldn't follow Karu, so she dashed off to the school building, so I just stood there. What am I saying? Just because Karu said something like Ayaka doesn't mean she's going to let the secret go to waste. Okay, so she said something like something Ayaka would say, but I don't know which line it was. So he does care, is something like Ayaka would say? Damn it.
友也、お前何やってんの？
Tomoya, what are you doing? On his side was Yue's laugh. Was Yue wondering when... Next to him was Yue, who had apparently caught up in silence.
途中で稲穂くんと一緒に来たんだけど、音羽さんは？
I came with Shin on the way here. What about you, Otowa-san? What about Otowa-san? I couldn't answer Yue's question. I felt like a strangely quiet class. I peeked into the seat next to me out of the corner of my eye and saw Cora staring straight at the blackboard, taking notes. I stare out the window again at the scenery. It's a new CG, but I didn't bother trying to isolate it. The clouds drifted away in a carefree manner. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Yukri, Yukri. There's only 2 slowies. Not 4. Karu has been avoiding me ever since the incident this morning. She didn't talk to me casually during class. Just silently devote herself to the class. It was all I could see. We gotta have this falling out happen so you can have that good ending, bad ending differentiation. Right. Morning class ended and it was finally lunch break. I invited Karu to eat somewhere we could talk, but Karu stood up from her seat at the same time as the bell and was on her way to her friend's seat. I don't know what that means. I didn't know if she had any other friends, but whatever. I didn't even have the timing to call out to her at the time.
おい友也、たまには購買行かないか？
Hey, Tomoya, why don't you go to the school store once in a while? I don't know if he's making fun of me when I go to the school store, but now I think about it, this morning's events are nothing compared to hers.
おい、
Compared to his or
行
something.
かないのか？
Hey, are you going? I get it. I'll be right there. Answering Sheen, who was waiting for my reply, we headed to the school store. Or like the purchasing. Oh, no. After school, I was waiting for Karu at the school gate. In the end, we hadn't had a chance to talk since the incident this morning. That's why I've been waiting all this time for you to be on cleaning duty. I think it's my fault for what happened this morning. Karu had only been there at the time, and it wasn't like it was her fault for waiting. Let's apologize to Karu and get along again tomorrow as usual. That was the only wish I had right now. Eventually I saw Karu from the school building. She's coming this way alone. I jumped out in front of Karu trying to stop her.
Tomoya.
Tomoya. I'm sorry about what happened this morning. So, you can see. Eh?
別に気にしてないからいいよ。
I don't really mind, so it's fine. No, I can only think of it as my fault. That's why I have to apologize like this.
じゃあ
So then,
なんで今日智也のこと待ってたかわかる？
do you know why I was waiting for you today? What do you mean? That do you know? Or, why? Before I knew it, this came out, I guess the question came out before I could think too hard about why. This phrase came out before I could even think deeply about why.
そう。わからないんだ。
Yeah. I don't know. Wait. She smiles a little at the end and walks past me. Or like, yeah, you don't know. It's probably not, I don't know, it's yeah, you don't know. Miss walks away. Looking back, Karu had already run off quite a ways. What do you mean? I didn't understand what Karu meant, so all I could do was stand there. Girls, please don't be like this. It's really confusing. We can't figure these things out. Dudes can't read minds. Why was Karu with Yue? I thought Yue would be there this morning, but it was Karu who was there. I was surprised, but I wasn't dissatisfied with the fact that Karu was there. If I hadn't gone first, the three of us would probably have gone to school together. Three people. Ah. Yeah, that's right. Finally, I remembered why Karu was with Yue back then. Outside, cold rain continued to fall. The dry air was tinged with a faint dampness, foreshadowing the coming of the rainy season. Today or something about today. I deeply regretted what happened yesterday. Back then, I thought I should have chased Karu. I wonder if it's about time for third period. I checked the side for the umpteenth time. Today alone, enough to make me forget. Not even close. Something about the sky, though. No matter how many times I looked, no one was sitting in that seat. It was empty. This is the first time Karu had been absent since coming to the school. Her homeroom teacher had said she had a cold. But I didn't think so. She probably took a break because of what happened yesterday. The answer to what Karu said yesterday was quite simple.
じゃあこれからは朝も一緒に行こっか。
Karu had said something along those lines. I didn't realize that at all and ended up saying it like that. It's only natural that she'd get hurt. After all, I rejected what I said myself. I was definitely thinking about Ayaka, but Karu had been waiting without knowing anything. Try to find Japanese. Oh. About me. That's right. I know. What's waiting for me? Waiting for her to do something so boring and sad. Is another rainy day like today? Or today was another rainy day. It was just a small errand, and even though it was a day off, we had been forced to go to school to help out. I finally freed myself from my errands and stepped out of the school building. Cold drops of water grazed me quickly. Now that I think about it, if I hurry home, there's nothing to worry about. That's the extent of the rain. But that's when I... Hello? Hitsuki-san? Something, I don't know what the phone is.
友也
Zue. Oh, Tomoya. Oh. That voice is Ayaka?
うん、どうしたの？今日は学校に行ってるんじゃなかったっけ？
Yeah, what's wrong? Didn't you go to school today? I'm here right now.
で、もう用事終わったの？
Mysterious phone call. Like, mysterious red phone he just carries around with phone calls from the dead. So, are you done with your business? Yeah, I was worried about what you'd make me do. But then... What they would make me do. But then I lined up the printed printouts in page order. And then I stapled them with the stapler. The Hachikisa, right? Hachikisa's stapler. That's all that there was to it. Honestly, it feels like they should do that on their own.
ま、授業サボってゲームセンターなんかに行くからだよ。
Well, a class appointment is because you're going to an arcade, you know. Wait. Game Center. Yeah, it's an arcade. So there is an arcade going in here, but what's the class appointment is because you're going to an arcade? Well, class support means going to the arcade or something, right?
そのぐらいで済んでよかったじゃない？
Isn't it a good thing that's all that happened? That's right. Oh, and about what I need to do. You're in high spirits too, aren't you?
うん。朝は全然降ってなかったのにね。
Yeah, it wasn't raining at all this morning. I'm sorry, but could you bring me an umbrella? Mom isn't here today.
あ、今日おばさんいないんだ。しょうがない。持ってってあげるよ。
Auntie's not here today. Oh well, I'll take it. Sinkyu. I'll thank you for this next time.
期待しないで待ってる。
Don't get your hopes up. I'll wait. I won't get my hopes up.
じゃあ、10分程度で行くね。昇降口にいるよね。
I'll be there about 10 minutes. You'll be at the entrance, right? Wait, you'd wait for Ayaka to bring you an umbrella? That's kind of weird from my perspective, but okay. Well, yeah, then I'll be counting on you. And so the phone call that was casually hung up was the last conversation Ayaka and I had. At the time, I didn't know anything. Just waited for Ayaka to arrive. Suddenly, I thought I heard a siren in the distance. It was as if that siren had secretly taught her. Come on, Google Translate. Come on. Go. I know Google Translate's not the one that is choking on that one. Translation error. Huh. Well, I don't know what that means. It's kind of a profound line if I would know what it meant. No matter how long I waited, Ayaka did not show up at all. I called again, but this time I only heard the mechanical voice of an answering machine. Murmur runs through me, and it feels like I'm going to vomit. Feeling uneasy, I rushed out into the rain, paying no heed to the fact I was getting wet. Like a beast, He knows nothing but to run in a trance. I just ran. What I ran to was, it's falling onto the asphalt that created a stream of rain. Oh, it's as if the siren had secretly told me. Okay. There we go. Then, falling on the asphalt, it formed a shallow stream of rain. Oh, the white umbrella. It's falling. The white umbrella that's still open is repelling the rain. I knew it was Ayaka's umbrella, so that Ayaka was gone because of me. So she got run over by a car. Very Never 7-ish. Very Never 7 style. Not a very creative way to die, is it? So everything... It's like the most like lame, non-creative ideas for death. Getting hit by a car, falling from a cliff, accidentally or intentionally, or a building fall on them. It's like the first things you'd think of as like a way to die, stereotypically, is like those things. Hit by a car. So everything... That's why I know what's waiting for me. Waiting for her to do something so boring and sad. It's nothing. It was all my fault. I couldn't do anything today. Well, we got more details. What if you do a different girl, whether or not you get the same story by a different means? The next day, Kaoru was absent again. It looks like she still catched a cold. But now that fourth period is coming to an end, I've already reached my limit. During lunch break, I went to Kaoru's house to talk to her in person. 30 seconds left. What? Oh dear. So it's a little bit Saki style. You go right into her house, right? The hands of the clock had reached the end of class, and now the countdown was almost upon us. Soshite, which is a conjunction of sentences. And... well then, let's call it a day. Karasna. Okay, everyone in the class started moving at once. I ran out of the classroom. I dashed toward the stairs. I fall down the stairs. Whoa. Is this Sheen again? Ah. When I reached the stairs, I bumped into someone who had appeared out of nowhere. It's voice acted. My opponent was repelled by my body slam, and she staggered to the ground. Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Kaoru? I figured it to be like Sheen or Minamo or someone. Where you weren't in that route anymore, but they just got this cameo, like on the way to Kaoru's house. I hold out my hand to Kaoru.
ありがとう。
Thank you. For some reason, she stood up weakly. Is it just me or does the atmosphere look different? What are you doing here?
どうしてって言われても、この学校の生徒なのにここにいたらおかしい？
Even if you ask me why, wouldn't it be strange for a student at school to be here? That's not what I meant. I heard that you are resting because of a cold.
うん、風邪だったよ。
Yeah, I had a cold.
でもだいぶ良くなったから、お昼だけどこうして登校してきたの。
But I'm feeling a lot better now, so I came to school like this for lunch. Was it really a cold? Indeed, judging from Kaoru's personality, she might not be the type to get depressed over things forever. I wonder if I was mistaken.
どうしたの？
What's wrong? No, it's fine if you are here.
うん。
Want to go somewhere?
じゃあ、屋上に行かない？
Then why don't we go to the roof? The weather's nice. No, it's not. It's raining. Okay, let's go. Maybe it's not raining today. It was raining yesterday. Kaoru nodded and we headed straight for the roof. The roof. We reached the calendared rooftop. We sat down on a convenient bench. Calendar is not a word. There's some sort of weird translation thing. I showered Kaoru with joking accusation about her not being here yesterday.
そんなの私のせいじゃないでしょ？
It's not my fault, is it? If Kaoru had been there back then, I definitely wouldn't have been embarrassed, you know.
友やったらひどいな。
Geez, Tomoyo, you're so mean. Talking to Kaoru really is fun. I have fun talking to Yue-san, but there's still something about her that doesn't mesh with my topic. I want her to smile, and I want her to be angry. Unlike Yue-san, Kaoru is probably very similar to me in that regard. That's why it's fun to talk to her, and why I never get tired of it. But I was really worried about it.
何が？
What is new? Like, what is the information? What is it? When Kaoru was waiting at the station with Yue-san, we didn't get to talk that day, and Kaoru caught a cold the next day.
ああ、あのことね。
Oh, about that. I was seriously worried that it might have hurt Kaoru a lot.
そんなに真剣に悩んでくれたの？
Were you really that worried about it? Just a bit.
だと思った。友やらしいよね。
I thought so. That's just like you, Tomoya. A casual conversation. However, I sensed something. The smile she had. Yes, the face of Kaoru right here, right now, was the same as the one I had seen before. A somewhat awkward laugh. It was like a fake expression, wearing a mask called an inherited face. This CG repeated.
今日もいい天気だよね。
The weather is nice today. Stand up from the bench and survey the city from the fence. All she can see is the shopping district and the road stretches straight ahead. And up ahead is a small blue, sky blue sea. Kaoru looked the same as always when she saw the sea. Yeah, but something about looking at the sea. Kaoru seemed to be no different from usual. But that's just how it looked. So it's Tomono Hontono. However, I felt that way when we bumped into each other in the hallway. Honestly, I felt that way when we bumped into each other at the hallway. We've been spending so much time together lately that I've completely forgotten about that feeling. I don't want to gauge Kaoru's feelings, but I can't help but sense something. Standing up, I call out to Kaoru from behind. Gomen. Which is like Gomen Nasai. So something like sorry. Suddenly she said those words. Hmm? Or I said those words. Kaoru turns to me. That face was the face of a friend I always saw next to me. I wanted her to be there.
どうしたの突然。
What's wrong all of a sudden? I didn't say anything more. No, I couldn't.
そんな突然謝られても。
That's no need to apologize suddenly.
困るよ。
This is a problem. She might have been bewitched by the I might have been bewitched by cheerfulness and energy she always acted, and I didn't know the real Kaoru. Okay. Even at this moment, I don't know anything about Kaoru. There is no need to hold back. Friends are close to each other. Didn't Kaoru tell me that? Okay, there's no need to be patient all the time. My best friend, Kaoru told me that, right? Isn't that fine?
ありがとう。
Thank you. After expressing gratitude, Kaoru started crying on the spot. Quietly, like her. Like her, isn't it one person alone? Quietly alone? Could you wait for me tomorrow? She didn't say anything to me, but she just nodded silently. November 1st. Halloween isn't a thing in Japan, apparently. In the middle of a certain class, a small piece of paper flew in from beside me. I looked at the contents and turned to the seat next to me. What is it? She's staring at me with an expression like she wants to say something that something about it's just like her. It was very typical of her. The scrap of paper had the words, "Want to go hang out somewhere by yourself," written on it. Well, but yeah, it's like one person. What does that mean? In other words, she's invited me out on a date. I was unable to say anything, but this time it was Karu who whispered to me.
で、今日の帰りにでもどう？
So how about on your way home today? Going home today? That's pretty sudden. Now then, what should I do? Commit. Gotta commit to the plot line. I wonder what happens if it defaults out, but we're gonna commit first. We're gonna explore all the other possible endings later. So this is Data Suru, Dato Shinai. So I think the top one is yes and the bottom one is no. Top. Okay. I signaled for her to agree with my fingertip and decided to accept her invitation.
それじゃあ今日の放課後約束ね。
Yeah, well then, today's after school. It's a promise. Karu responded with a smile, then turned her attention back to class. Is this the first time Karu has gone on a date like this? But still, Sore ni Shi Temo. Karu's lip-splitting invitation made me feel uneasy. So, like, suspenseful. After school that day, we passed through the school gate together. So, if you invite her to hang out, then there must be somewhere you want to go, right? Invite me to hang out?
わかってるね。さすが友也。
You understand, don't you? That's Tomoya for you. You won't get anything out of flattery.
あれ？期待してたのに。
Huh? I was expecting something like that. I don't sound disappointed at all, and your face is still smiling. Where the hell are you taking me?
それはね。
Well, you see.
やっほー。二人とも今から帰るの？
Yahoo! Are you two going home now? This is Yue talking, by the way. She's always trying to cheer me up. It's so easy.
ゆえ、お気楽娘じゃないもん。
Yue, you're not an easygoing girl. She's like talking about herself. Hey, don't just read my mental description.
訂正してよ。
Correct me.
もう、ともちゃんの意地悪。
Jeez, you're so mean, Tomo-chan.
まあまあ、二人とも落ち着いて。
Now, calm down, you two. Kaoru takes care of our relationship. She's like a neighborhood lady.
音羽さんはお姉さんじゃないよ。
Toa-san isn't your big sister. Like I said, don't just read my mental description every time.
うん。
Tomoya just does. She's expecting Tomoya to go, oh, no, she's not. And Tomoya just like, yeah, you're right. Honestly, what a person. Maybe she knew what I was thinking all this time until recently. If that's the case, I have to be careful.
今坂さんはこれから帰り？
Where are you going home now, Imasaka-san?
音羽さんも？
Otawa-san also?
私は。
Just say, I'm not going home. She glances over at me and stops talking. Seems she's asking me for help because it's hard to say stuff to Yue. Yes, now you have to try to tackle that problem. Except Tomo-chan doesn't really do a good job either. He just makes up crazy stories. Yeah, Google Translate didn't help. It still like mixed the subject and the object up. So yeah, apparently it's hard to tell Yue. Aren't you gonna ask about me?
ともちゃんはどうせまっすぐ帰るんでしょ？聞いたって無駄なんだもん。
Tomo-chan's going straight home anyway, right? There's no point in asking. Oh, that's not true.
じゃあどこか行くの？
Okay, then, are you going somewhere? Okay. We have the BSing options here. So we have 3 people date, going on a 3-person date. The 3 of us are going somewhere. That's an option. Number 2, I'm going home. Number 3, I'm gonna hang out with Kaoru. So, yeah, we could try to bring Yue along and then ditch her. We could say we're going home and lie, or we could just straight up blast the truth right out. Now, Kaoru isn't very good with that. So that might, Kaoru may not like it if we just blow the truth right out. I don't like that they give hints. It's like, it's like, because I'm thinking, like, the mindset has creeped in here. I'm thinking, I'll just read the hint. It's mush-brained me. It's deconditioned me. Already. I would have picked the bottom option that, say I'm going somewhere with Kaoru. I'm hanging out with Kaoru. If this was just me without hints, right? So that's why... So I guess I'm going to highlight that one first. Just to get that on record, but she doesn't like that. I'm going home. Drag her along. Okay. So I would have, yeah, I noticed, I guess Kaoru is like not Saki. She's like the opposite. Like you gotta tell a lie with Kaoru. Which is the opposite of the whole Saki thing, which is all about telling the truth. I would actually get this ending, though, so I'm going to take the hint. This is a problem. As her childhood friend, I knew full well that she wasn't the kind of person to just say whatever she wanted and be honest with me. If she asks me what I should do, I'll just have to trick her into leaving the stage. What I do, I'll have to trick her into leaving the stage. No, I'm not going anywhere after all.
なんだ、やっぱりともちゃんはこのまま帰るだけじゃな。
What? You're not just going home like this after all, Tomo-chan? Or just going home after all, like, yes, I have to hold myself back. I have to commit to the BS! If I don't hold back now, what Kaoru invited me to do will all go to waste. That could have been a catastrophic flub if you actually would have picked, like, the honest choice. I should have catastrophically flubbed, maybe, if I was playing this, like, legitimately. With, like, I don't know, not legitimately. With good faith or whatever. Yeah, like you said, I just, like, how I would play it without taking those hints in. Like you said, I'm just going to straight home. It's true that it's pointless to ask.
ともちゃんたら思わせぶりなこと言うから、これからどこかに行くのかと思っちゃったよ。
You're so suggestive, Tomo-chan. I thought you were going somewhere after this. So that's what she was thinking. Well, I'm going home with Kaoru.
なんで？みんなで一緒に帰ろうよ。
Why? Let's all go home together, okay? I couldn't help but stiffen up with an ambient face. An amiable face. No, I can't do that.
なんで？帰るん
Why?
でしょ？
Why? You're going home, aren't you? Well, I'm going home, but
じゃあ帰ろうよ。
then let's go home. What should I do? I look troubled, but this time Kaoru offers me a helping hand.
いいじゃないの。今坂さんと3人で帰ろうよ。
What's wrong with that? Let's go home together. Just the three of us. Eh?
さすが音羽さん。そうだよね。みんなで仲良く帰ろうよ。
That's Otawa-san for you. You're right. Let's go home together. What's going on all of a sudden?
だってこれじゃ拉致が開かないじゃない。
This isn't gonna work. You're right. We need to disappear. Akaru invited me, so I don't think I'll have to call it off now. You're gonna go home like this today, right? So you're gonna go home like this today, right?
仕方ないよ。
It's hard to fight off Yue. It can't be helped. There's an expression for what Yue is right now, and I don't like ever using it, so I won't. It can't be helped, huh? It would be nice if in English, in American English, we had like nicer ways of saying things, but a lot of our idioms are just like the only way to like describe that idea is using an idiom that's not nice at all. Let's save it for next time.
うん。
Hmm.
音羽さんもともちゃんも早く帰ろうよ。
Towa-san and Tomo-chan, let's hurry home. Yue, who had gone ahead of us on her own, was calling out to us as we stood before her, or behind her. It can't be helped. Let's go.
そうだね。
You're right. We leisurely set off down the still bright afternoon road. That night, I called Kaoru.
今日誘った理由？
The reason you invited me today? Yeah, it's true that Yue was unhappy that she was in a place like that, but is it really okay if it's not today?
そんなこと聞いてどうするの？
What's the point of asking that? Well, you seem kind of disappointed, so I'm curious.
うーん。
So, where were you trying to go?
別にただ映画館でも行こうかなってそう思っただけだよ。
Just thinking maybe I should go to the movie theater. Eiga-con, which I presume is movie theater. Eiga's movie.
今日で最後の上映だったから智也もどうかなって。
Yeah, today was the last screening, so I was wondering if you'd like to watch it too, Tomoya. I see.
もう上映時間も終わってるし。
Movie time is already over. There's nothing I can do about that. Gah.
うん。
Understood. That's all I wanted to hear. I'm sorry I couldn't go.
うん。それじゃあおやすみ。
Okay, good night. Oyasumi nasai. Good night. Oyasumi. One of those commonly used expressions. After putting down the receiver, I laid myself down on the bed. Ha. After being indebted to her for so long, I regretted it a lot. I knew it. I was avoiding the choices I made back then. As a result, I ended up frying the movie Kaoru wanted to watch. That's why back then Kaoru looked so pained. A hopeless regret coils around me and indignation covers me. I was starting to feel disgusted by the existence of myself. I knew it. Ayaka. Suddenly I remembered my childhood friend. That's right, I haven't been able to shake off my relationship with Ayaka yet. I haven't had good luck at Kaoru yet. Had a good look at Kaoru yet. I thought I'd forgotten all memories of Ayaka. That's right. I hadn't forgotten that it was my intention. Google Translate, help me here. Yes, I had intended to do so, but I hadn't forgotten. You don't have to forget, you just need to be able to, like, realize that you can also move on while still remembering. It's not. Anyway, that's all there was to it. In other words, that's how it is. A few days later, I went to visit Ayaka's grave for the first time in a while. It's a place I haven't seen in 1 year. And then I realized that song that I always hear in the dentist office. I just think I have to go to the dentist on Tuesday. Why? Now that I think about it, this city is full of memories of Ayaka. 3 years ago, no, I've been walking this path all together with Ayaka since long ago. I haven't forgotten anything. So with every single girl, is it going to be like we start kind of down that route, and then they do something that kind of resembles something that Ayaka used to do, and then Tomoya freaks out and is like, "You're not Ayaka! What are you doing something Ayaka would have done?" It gets all mad at them, and then they all fall out, and then there's like this. Every single girl is going to be the same pattern repeating. This is going to get old, so we're going to go through all these girls the same way. Maybe Yue would be different because she's Yue. But the other girls, yeah, it's going to be like the same thing. Oh dear. I haven't forgotten anything. Well, it hasn't translated. Oh. Next thing. This city hasn't changed since then. It's the same time as back then. Probably a lot of pop music and music written about this kind of subject. Everywhere I go reminds me of you type thing. It rained mercilessly. A drop of water drips from my hair and hits my neck. I don't mind getting wet, I just sit still on the bench. I felt like I'd be able to see Ayaka if I stayed here. Oh yeah, I remember that scene. That feeling was the only thing keeping me here. Everyone passing by, looks at me suspiciously. Of course, no one would do something like this around this time of year when winter was near. Just sit there in the rain. My eyelids were getting heavier. Ayaka? You came.
Tomoya. Tomoya.
Tomoya. Ayaka?
何よほら、元気だった？
What? Hey, how have you been? You been Genki? Genki?
どうしたの？
What's wrong? You know, I have to have Ayaka by my side. I thought I could do anything because Ayaka was by my side.
そんなことないよ。智也は私がいなくたってちゃんとやっていけてるよ。
That's not true. Tomoya can do it without me. I thought so too. I thought I could do it. But I couldn't. So I guess this is some like double entendre where this is like a real thing that happened in Tomoya's past. But also it's real conversation, but it's like relevant to right now because it's like now she's dead. And it's he's saying, I can't do it without you. And she says, yes, you can. That's what my guess was what this is. Even though I had a daughter who cared about me, I couldn't respond to that daughter. Huh. I don't know what that means, but okay.
そうだったんだ。
I see. That's why I...
でもね、智也はその子に答えようとしていたじゃない？
But you know, Tomoya was trying to respond to that girl. Eh?
ただ、その気持ちがほんの少しだけ足りなかったんだと思うんだ。
But I think that feeling was just a little lacking.
智也、私はね、智也が私のことを忘れられることなんてないと思ってるんだ。
Tomoya, you see, Tomoya thinks he'll never forget me.
ううん。もう私は智也の一部になっちゃってるんじゃないかって思うんだ。
No, I think I've already become a part of Tomoya.
でもそれはね、これからもずっと私が智也のことを縛り付けていくっていう意味じゃなくて、なんて言うんだろう。
But you know, I don't mean to say that I'll always be wearing Tomoya's clothes, but what do you mean? Okay, what's Google Translate say? But that doesn't mean that I will continue to embroider Tomoya from now on. But what do you mean? Does that mean Ayaka and I aren't separate anymore?
ちょっと違うかもしれないけど、まあ大体はそんな感じかな。
It might be a little different, but I guess that's more or less how it is.
私はね、智也に新しい生活を始めてほしいと思ってるんだ。
I want you to start a new life, Tomoya. A new life, huh? But I rejected it myself. I don't want to forget about Ayaka.
そうなんだよね。
That's right. That's right. How do you know so much about me, Ayaka?
もう怒鳴らなくたって聞こえるよ。
You don't have to yell at me anymore. I'll break the darkness. But even if you don't yell anymore, it will still sound dark. Huh? Sorry.
さっきも言ったよね。私はもう智也の一部なんだって。
I told you before, didn't I? I'm already part of Tomoya.
智也の思っていることは私の持っていること。
What Tomoya thinks is what I think. So what Ayaka's thinking is what I'm thinking?
そういうこと。
That's right.
思っていることがたとえ逆でも、智也の心の中にはその二つの思いがせめぎ合ってるの。
Even if what you're thinking is the other way around, those two feelings are at each other's throats in Tomoya's heart.
どっちも間違ってないんだよ。
Neither of them are avoiding each other. But you can't say who's right. That's how it is.
わかったの？
Do you understand? No, I probably don't understand. Why are you laughing all of a sudden?
ごめんね。智也って昔と全然変わってないなって思って。
I'm sorry, I was just thinking that you haven't changed at all. Really? To me, it looks like Ayaka hasn't changed at all.
当たり前でしょ。
Isn't it obvious?
私はあの時からずーっと変わらないんだから。
I haven't changed since then.
智也がおじいちゃんになったって私は今のまんまだからね。
Even if Tomoya becomes an old man, I'm still the same as I am now. Haha, that's true.
ねえ智也、私はね、今回はまだ時間が早すぎたんだと思うんだ。
Wait, that's so weird. The entendres there are so weird. So, like at face value, that's just basically saying because she's dead, she's never going to age beyond the age at which she died, right? Your body stops aging. You can think of it as your body stops aging when it dies, or you can think it ages really rapidly when you die. I don't know how you want to think of it, right? But then it seems like this was a real conversation that he's remembering. So, and then in that context, that wouldn't make any sense unless Ayaka somehow didn't age or something. Maybe this isn't a real conversation. Hey, Tomoya, I think it's still too early this time.
智也さ、最初は私のことを振り切れた、忘れたって思ってたでしょ。
Tomoya, at first you thought you forgot you would be able to shake me off, didn't you? Yeah, that's what I thought, but the truth is I was wrong.
それが分かってるんならもう大丈夫だよ。多分。
Yeah, if you know that, then you're fine now, probably. What do you mean by probably?
さっきの智也の真似。
Okay. So let's get rid of the nonsense text. Go translate. And then what's left is Tomoya's imitation from earlier. Chi.
ほら、いい加減に起きないとダメだよ。
Come on, you need to get up already.
起きて新しい生活を始めないとね。
You have to wake up and start a new life. You're right. Ayaka.
何？
What? Thanks. Arigato written in katakana, right? Okay, so I don't get it, Uchikoshi-san. I think... So, you just kind of like had this dream where you talked to dead Ayaka, and then she said like you need to start a new life, right? Which makes sense. But then she said stuff about I'm become part of you. So it's kind of like you need to get over me, but then in the same time you need to take the piece of me that is you and continue with it into your life. At the same time, I guess. I don't know. Language barriers. The languidness makes my body feel heavy. The next thing I knew, I was staring at a pure white ceiling. It's getting intense. I make eye contact with the woman who appears in my field of vision, peering into my eyes. Is this the hospital? The Byoin? Did you notice? Did you notice you were in a hospital? She spoke. The poor woman reached under my arm and pulled the thermometer out of it. Yeah, your fever seems to have gone down a lot. What am I doing? What am I doing here? We've got kids in the hospital. Bingo card item. This is not really an Uchikoshi part, but it is because this is when the Ayaka thing happened. I don't think you know, but I had a fever. You don't think you know, but you had a fever of 41 Celsius, which, okay. When you were brought here, I was really worried about you. I thought you might break my precious thermometer. That's what I thought. So this is a really goofy nurse, I guess. The nurse smiled suggestively. Come on, hang on a little longer, Nightingale. What? Nightingale? Like son, or like boy. Or whatever. With that, the nurse left the hospital room. I see. I was hit by the rain in the park. So that's why I had that dream. The dream, right? The next day I left the hospital. Where am I headed? I think I'll try going there again. To that park. When I touched the outside air, it felt refreshing, unlike yesterday. The sun shone brightly in the sky, completely contrasting with the rain. The wind blew. And as I did, the citrusy scent was brought in. Looking up at the sky, I started to feel like Ayaka was there. Don't worry. I'll do my best, huh? Don't worry, I'll try my best in my own way. Let's see here. OCR. There you go. No matter what happens, Ayaka is a part of me. I won't hesitate anymore, if you understand that. Hey, Ayaka?
これからもずっと一緒だよね。
I don't know what that said. It must have been really profound. So that's like a bad end, I presume. I would presume that you could get. I'll listen to this in-credit music afterwards. Probably not copyright claim thing, because usually the in-credit music is not. But I don't have time to go into the settings and turn it on. Like if I put on the settings menu, it'll probably turn the credits off. You know, maybe I'll try that. Settings. Oh, that just goes through the credits. Okay. So, is that an ending? Clear list. Endings. Let me turn this off. There you go. One. Okay, which one is it? The first one, which is Ayaka Indo. No, Endo. The Ayaka end. And that's the first one on the list, which is probably the easiest one to get. So it appears that I failed. Oh, I gotta use the restroom and come back and comment on this. This is really weird. This is really weird. Okay, okay, I'm back. Yeah, I'm struggling with the interpretation there. Someone will probably not like watch this. This is not very easily watchable content, so I don't expect anybody to. If someone he did, I have to tell him, it's something like, I want you to start a new life, Tomoya, but then I am always like a part of you, right? You cannot move on from me because I am always a part of you. But then you also don't have to move on from me because I am always a part of you. But no matter how you interpret that, it's like it ended up a bad ending. So he did not succeed in finding a new girlfriend, right? He always got hung up by Ayaka, and in doing so, he messed up and lost his new girlfriend because he couldn't get over Ayaka and Ayaka's death. So you would think it's dominated by the idea of Ayaka will always be with you, and Ayaka will always be your girlfriend, and no one else will ever be able to replace Ayaka, and they shouldn't try. But if Ayaka has no special connection, you'd think to, like, you would get the Ayaka ending is like something that's special to pursuing Kaoru, right? You would think that the Ayaka ending would be a bad ending that you would get for every character. And if it's a bad ending that you'd get for every character, then that would mean that all of the girls you can pursue you would have a similar structure where something happens where they do something that resembles Ayaka, and then it reminds you of Ayaka, and then you get all mad, and then you go crazy, and you end up with this Ayaka ending by which way, regardless of which girl you're going after. That's a very weird structure. That's kind of unique and different. I haven't seen that happen with any other visual novels. That's nice and creative. And it's kind of unexpected. Like, the game is all kind of bright and lighthearted and slice of life. And, you're just kind of hanging out with this girl and everyone's happy. And then all of a sudden, it gets all dark and stuff. And it just ends in this dark note. Yeah. Okay. So, look at the scenes here. So, we got continuous scenes, up and down. We're missing 16 and 17, missing 23, missing 26 and 27, missing 39, missing 41, missing 52. So, I got some Kaoru stuff. It's probably an Ayaka scene in there. Midterm tests. More Kaoru stuff. And missing 87 got 88. Missing 89 got 90. Let's see if one of the Ayaka things is down here deep. Yeah, 141. 141 is probably the Ayaka ending scene. On no rain. It's like the rainy day or something. Yeah, I could get the OCR on it to get the scene name. Bring the OCR back on the screen. On that rainy day. Maybe that's her death scene. I don't know. It's one of her scenes. One of her things is that. Okay. It's probably a special background music for that as well. We got a lot of new CGs for Kaoru there. Well, let's look at Ayaka. Oh, this is interesting. We got missing. So this might be scenes with Ayaka that you might get as you pursue other characters' routes. Like, you just remember other things you've done with Ayaka along the way, right? So we still have 1, 2, 3, for 5 Ayaka CGs. And we've gotten 5, so we got about half of them. And then we have one from Pure that I accidentally clicked into. Okay. Yue, haven't really started her stuff yet. Haven't really started Shion's. Oh, that is the immediate next one. Okay, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 remaining. So you got continuous up to the rooftop scene. Minamo, how we haven't really started. We did it pretty good, but it like biased into Kaoru, right? So we have to ignore Kaoru more to actually get into Minamo's stuff. Okay, did too much Kaoru focus. Oh. I guess now we got the Ayaka ending, we unlocked this. So it's Yue and Ayaka. And this for Ayaka. So Yue. Oh, it's a switch you can zoom in. Okay. Nice touch. Ayaka on the phone. Oh, this is right before she dies. That's kind of dark. Okay. Three openings. Oh yeah, they all three have different musics probably, right? Just different ports. Yeah, I'll have to listen to these with the background music on at some point later, maybe like the last part. Okay, that's cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to continue. We're going to do a load. This one? We're going to try something. Oh wait, it's back out. X. Oh, plus. Where's options? Okay, so skip mode, which, let's get the OCR on that and try to get what the various skip modes are. So, oh, this is going to be annoying. I'll put the OCR back on the recording. Okay. Okay, try that. All of it. Okay. And then the other option is, I'm just making it so that the white background allows me to capture. Red only. Okay, so I went on red only. Okay, just making sure that's, and then I'm going to move the settings data back down to like something more reasonable for the text I'm looking at. Okay. So then, I'm going to see if I can how do I do a skip?
そう悩んでないで帰ろうよ。
Yeah, what button is skip? Minus? That red just says I've read this before. Okay, so X is backlog. B is remove text box and get out of backlog. Y is auto. A is next line. Plus is menu. Joystick just does next line. Arrow keys also do next
三
line.
上くん、まだ諦めるのは早いよ。三上くんには、ん
Oh, there we go. There's skip. Okay. Okay, we have this scene. So this is where I said, tell the truth. Let's see if we... This is the only choice I ever remember making that was anti-Kalru, according to the hints. Like, everything else was just perfect Kalru choices the whole way through, except for this one. So, what if I make it perfect by changing this one? Translate. Actually.
実は
Actually. I didn't pay the electricity bill.
はあ
Huh? Well, that's not expected. That's not what I expected the line to be. At those words, Otella-san's eyebrows on the table nearly buckled. My relative's grandmother was collecting money for the electricity bill, so,
払えないってわけ
you can't pay it? Look, I'm, Okay, what does Google Translate have to say? I'm an Orientian now. Something went wrong. An Ore person now. What does Ore mean? I don't know. What's an Ore person?
そうなんだ。
Translators don't even know. I see. How could such a huge lie come out? I'm sure anybody would be able to tell such a lie right away. Why am I so lacking in ideas?
一人で暮らしてるってことなのに、私がいるのも変なことだよね。
What did I skip? So Karu says, for some reason, Otowa-san sank into thought. You're living alone, so it's weird for me to be here, be there. Yeah, that's right, huh? Something's wrong with the curse. It's more like just what's wrong, right? But I could make sure. I could paste it into Google Translate, and then I can then go and translate what into Japanese using Google Translate. English. You type English. Okay. What? And then I get that kanji nani. And then I paste that in and replace the bad kanji. And then I get rid of the extra re at the end. Get rid of the doubled up shi. and I get something is wrong. There we go. Something is wrong is what that line translates to. This is what I should be thinking. The virtual aunt comes to collect electricity. Arrow. But I have no money to pay, so I can't. It's easy to find out when I'm away, so I run away before coming. I run away before they come. Then I'll be saved. Still, I felt like Otawa-san was thinking right now was a lot different from what I was. Oh, no.
そう考えると、これは仕方ないことだったんだね。
If you think about it that way, it can't be helped, right? It's not that I can't help it, it's just that,
でも、間違われるっていうのもちょっと面白かったと思わない？
But don't you think it would be a little fun to be demoted? Don't you think it'd be a little bit, interesting to be transferred? What does that mean? No, even if you say it's interesting, what's so interesting about my body? Even if you say it's interesting, what's so funny about it? Oh, okay, it's nothing to do with bodies. Otawa-san?
ああ、でもそういうのって後で面倒かもね。
Oh, but that might be a pain later, right? Anyway, about that, are you okay with that?
そうだね。理由はいまいちくんだけど、詳しくは聞かないことにしとく。
That's right, I don't have a good reason, but I won't ask for details. Yeah, the reason is not good for you, but I won't ask you the details. Okay. I'm grateful to hear that. I sigh in relief. Wait, hey. What do you mean?
三上くんって嘘つくの下手なんだもん。そんなのすぐ分かっちゃうって。
Mikami-kun, you're bad at lying. You'll find out soon enough. Or I'll find out soon enough. Cough. I knew it.
でも、三上くんがそこまでして言いたくないなら、私は無理に聞かないよ。
But if you don't want to say it that badly, then I won't force you to do it. Eh?
その方が三上くんにとって何かと都合いいんでしょ？
That would be more convenient for Mikami-kun, wouldn't it? I couldn't say anything in response. Why did I tell such a stupid lie to Otawa-san? Because according to the pits the game has in it that it shouldn't have, you're supposed to do that. By doing this, I'll probably be able to maintain my connection with her. I mean, that's correct, right? Perhaps this way I can maintain a connection with her. That was the only reason. I probably don't want to lose it. To let go of the current relationship I had built with her. Wow. But what I'm saying here is that I'm going to ruin everything she's been worried about. What does that mean? But if I say this directly here, it means ruining all the care she has shown me up until now. That's why I'm sorry. All I could do is reply awkwardly. Because I thought that doing this now would be safe for both of us.
さあ、こんな話してる間にも時間は過ぎてるんだから、せっかくだから勉強しよう。
Okay, I still can't skip this. Come on, it's already past time for us to talk like this. Since we're here, let's study. Otala-san took my bag and pulled out textbooks and the like from inside. Yeah, you're right. I blindly followed her lead. Skip. Okay, this one. Let me try to remember. That can't be true. Actually, let's just say it's true. No, bottom one. Can't be true. Yeah. This is dating UA. Nope, you're not dating UA. Okay, the book incident happens. Okay, this is all the same. Take it, yes, take the book. Okay, same thing still. No choice density. Okay, this happens to you. You do stupid stuff. You get all mad at her. You remember when Ayaka died? You bump into Karu. You know, the roof. You do it. You go on the date. Okay. I'm going home. 3 of us are going somewhere. I'll try the top one just because it's like different, right? But they're probably equally good. Just to get some new different text, right? We not repeat the same thing, we don't have to. If I laugh now, it'll ruin Kaoru's feelings. I'll do whatever I can to make sure that doesn't happen. After I invited you here and waited for you like this just to go somewhere else, are you going to act like that?
そうだったの?
Yeah, really? No. I asked Kaoru to go along with the conversation.
うん。なんだ、そういうことだったらゆえは準備 OK
If that's the case, then when you're ready, Yue-sama. You're in good shape. Ignoring Yue's happy smile, I whispered in Kaoru's ear. It's okay, right? Don't worry. I'll just let you have some fun and go home like that. Or just let her have some fun and then she'll go home.
それなら
In that case, Kaoru agreed to my proposal. Sorry, but in this case, it's better to assume that Yue showing up here was like an unlucky disaster.
ともちゃん、音はさ、早く行こうよ。
Tomo-chan, Otawa-san, let's go already. With Yue running ahead of us, we left the scene.
わあ、やっぱりこの辺は賑やかでいいよね。
This area's lively, isn't it? Nigiyaka, lively. Yue laughs excitedly all by herself. And then there's me, walking behind her.
ほんと元気だね。
You really are full of energy. I can't keep up with Yue's bass guitar anymore. Well then, slap! Where's Google Translate? Kaoru's starting to have trouble keeping up with Yue's bass. We'll just leave it bass.
ねえ、二人ともこれからどこに行くの？
It's the actual word is pace, by the way, if you don't get it. It's keeping up with Yue's pace. Just in case anyone's confused. Hey, where are you two going now? What should I do? I shift my gaze to Kaoru. She looks at me as if she wants me to take care of her. Karaoke, huh? The arcade? Well, I guess that's about it.
じゃあ、ゲーセンに行こうよ。
Well then, let's go to the arcade. Karuwa?
異議なし。
No objections. Well, that's that. Now we're just gonna lose her in the arcade. This isn't the only place, but there's a lot of people gathered here. Anyway, I'm glad we've come this far, but considering the time, the store is really crowded. Just thinking about it makes me lose the will to go inside.
それじゃあ、ゆえの腕前をとくと見せちゃうから。
Well, then I'll show you my skills as Yue. Show me already.
何よ、その態度は。
What's with that attitude? Not really. You can play with me however you like.
ひどい。そういうこと言うんだ。
That's mean. You're saying stuff like that. Unfortunately, that's the kind of person I am.
まあまあ、とりあえず中に入ろうよ。
Now, let's go inside for now.
そうしよう。
Let's do that. So Shuka, I guess I'll do that. She's really into it, but she's becoming the big sister who's in charge of Yue and me. Maybe it's because talking to Yue-san makes me feel like I can't give up, so I end up relying on her. I have to be a little more careful. In the end, Ada, we ran out of time in the arcade, and three of us played until the sun set. Just as I was finally able to take a breather after returning home, Car gave me a predictable call. Stop skip mode. I'm sorry about today.
時間忘れてずっと遊んでたのは私も同じだし、別にいいよ。
No, it's the same for me. I've been playing all this time because I lost track of time. I don't mind. I'll run away as soon as I feel like it's a bother to prevent that from happening this time.
それいいね。
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank goodness. Looks like she's feeling a little better now. I can hear Kao's voice through the receiver, giving me a sense of the usual atmosphere. So in the end, where are you planning to go with me?
本当は。
Really, the truth is, why is this not skippable? Just as I was about to say that, a catch phone suddenly came on. Sorry, I got a call. Could you wait a minute? Geez, who's calling at a time like this? The timing was so perfect that I pressed the switch button and connected it to the person. Yes, Mikami Desketo. I'm Mikami.
あ、友也、俺だ。
Okay, so let's turn off the skip. This is different, right? And it's probably not different because I went to the arcade. I'm supposed to walk home. It's different because I lied to Kaoru, and so it's going to go a different direction. Wow, so I'll save this. It's a really funny turn of events. So, it's like, you have to get perfect. You have to pick the pro Kaoru choice at pretty much every single choice that comes up. Otherwise, you get snookered. Now, maybe that's why I decided, oh, this game is so hard because it's so strict with the point system. Like, that's way stricter than the Infinity Series. Infinity Series, you can, like, mess up a couple times. You can still get the good ending. Although, Haruka's route in Never 7 was tricky. But, so, some of them are tricky and some of them are less tricky. In this case, maybe that one choice in particular was just a really deal-breaker choice due to its nature. That particular choice was critical. There was weight on it. And different choice, it would have been fine to get wrong. But oof. It's counterintuitive too. Like if you went through and made multiple like choices that were wrong, you would not think to flip that one at first. So yeah, this game would have been, without the hints that I don't think should be here, would have been pretty hard. But then that's what I do. I play games that are hard and I try to figure them out. So doesn't necessarily justify it. But yes, it would have been pretty hard. It would have been pretty hard to hit this. Well, it looks like I got this divergent mode for the Kaoru route that maybe will not end in the Ayaka ending. And next time I'll pick up here and see if I can actually get an ending that's not the Ayaka ending. Cool. And this isn't changed. Well, yeah, this isn't changed really. Why am I bothering? Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get any new CGs there. Okay. I'll stop.